What is going on, YouTube? Welcome to the Living Free channel. My name is Tyler Freed, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about a surefire way to having financial freedom at an early age or creating financial freedom in a short amount of time. And what's that short amount of time? Well, for me, that would be between 10 years, okay? So 10 years. It is still a long time horizon, but let's get real. There's not many ways to get rich faster than that, faster than 5 to 10 years, right? So I'm giving it a longer time horizon than, let's say, 2 or 3 years, but 10 years to me is a good time horizon to build financial freedom. And what is financial freedom? First, before I get into that, my definition of financial freedom, if you're new to the channel, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, stay tuned till the end of the video, check out some more of my other videos that are going to be recommended to you at the end of this one. Also follow me on Instagram, the link to that is in the description below. Follow me, I'll follow you back. So what is financial freedom? Well, to me, financial freedom is the ability to live off of the income that your assets produce. Okay, so let's say you owned you had $1 million worth of AT&T stock, and from what I understand, I don't know where it's at right now, but I think the dividend yield for AT&T stock is roughly like 6 or 7%. Well, let's say it's 6% that you earn from owning a AT&T stock. If you have $1 million invested, you would be paid 6% per year on your investment, so that would be roughly $60,000 per year in dividend income that you would make by just holding stock in AT&T, right? Well, let's say your bills are $50,000 a month and you're earning $60,000 from your investment in AT&T. Well, $60,000 minus $50,000 is $10,000 net. You're positive, right? And so that would technically, in with my definition of financial freedom, you would be financially free, okay? And that $50,000 could be your rent, your mortgage, electric bill, all your utility bills, your food, car payment, whatever it is that you have, you would be financially free. Is it a lavish lifestyle earning $60,000 a year? No, I don't think it's a lavish lifestyle, but you could possibly live on $60,000 in most cities in America. I firmly believe that, if you're smart with your money, right? And so that's my definition, basically, and the numbers could be different for you. You may need $100,000 in passive income. You may need 150. You may need 200. I don't know. That number differs for everybody, really. But I'm just using an example to kind of explain to you what my definition of financial freedom is. So that's number one. Well, how do you get a huge lump sum of money like that to be able to invest it and earn that kind of income, right? And I'm not recommending that you buy AT&T stock. That was literally just an example. So, but yeah. Well, number one, and this is what I do. Everything that I'm talking about in this video, this is what I do. This is what my wife and I do. These are principles that I follow. And I've talked about them previously in other videos, but I'm going to go through step by step what I do, right? And what I believe in. And so number one is, first and foremost, before you do anything with personal finance, you got to look at your income. What is your income? I firmly believe getting into a career, into an industry where there is no cap on what you can make, that is the number one step. Because you want to be able to earn as much money as you can, right? You can only cut down on expenses so much to where it's like, I just need to earn more money. That's what you got to do. So number one, I believe getting into a career that can pay you 6 figures or more, and also there is no cap on what you can make. And this is solely for people, this video is solely for people that are trying to build wealth, that are trying to create financial freedom, okay? This is not for people who want to live comfortable. This is for people who want to sacrifice in the short term to gain financial freedom in the long term. And it's very doable doing what I'm talking about. And it's very simple, very simple. So number one, get into a career where you can scale and there is no income limit. Number two, getting out of debt, getting out of consumer debt in particular. So car payments, student loans, credit cards, things that take money from your pocket. Now, I do believe, and this is where I differ from Dave Ramsey, I do believe there is such thing as good debt and bad debt. Now, Bad debt would be it takes money from your pocket. You're not borrowing that money to own an asset that has positive cash flow and also appreciates in value over time. So let's say you borrowed money to buy a rental property, and that rental property's rental income that it produced, it exceeded the monthly expenses that that rental property cost you. That property would be an asset. That debt that you're using to own that rental property, I would consider that to be good debt because it's allowing you to own an asset that's going up in value and also paying you income. Okay, so that's my definition basically of good debt, bad debt. Where did I learn that? I learned that from Robert Kiyosaki in the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So there's things basically that I believe, or I agree with Dave Ramsey on and Robert Kiyosaki on. I think they both have good advice, and it's a wise person will pick and choose basically what works from different people, right? And what works for them in their personal life. I do believe that Robert's right about a lot of things, and I do believe Dave Ramsey's right about most things. So that's number one. Good debt, bad debt. Good debt is making you money. You're borrowing money to use as leverage to make you money and own assets. Bad debt is buying depreciating assets that are basically just taking money out of your pocket every single month. They're not making you any money. It's just throwing away money, right? So that's number two. So number one was get into a career to scale your income. There is no cap on your income. Number one, yeah. Scale your income. There is no cap on your income. Number two, get out of bad debt, consumer debt. Number three would be to build an emergency fund. So this is before I started investing, before my wife and I started investing. Number three, we got out of debt. That was number one. We got out of debt, and then we started stacking away money. So what we did was we added up all of our monthly bills, every single bill we had, and we multiplied that number by 6. And that gave us a 6-month emergency fund. I do believe before you start investing in a 401k or investing in anything really, having that emergency fund is the most important thing you can do, because that is going to protect you from actually cashing out your investments once you start, right? So say you started investing before you had that 6-month emergency fund, right? Well, if something bad happens, say you have something go wrong with your car or something go wrong with your house, and you have to pay money out of pocket for that expense. Well, if you didn't have that emergency fund, you would possibly have to use a credit card and go back into debt to fund that expense. You don't want to do that once you start investing. So that is number three. You know, get out of, or number two is get out of debt. Number three, get that emergency fund. I believe 6 months is necessary for almost everybody, especially, you know, too, it doesn't have to just be for an emergency. Like, I'll use an example, like right now, we have a 6-month emergency fund, but right now I'm in transition from one job to another. If I did not have that emergency fund, I would not be able to change jobs. And if something happens, right, while I'm transitioning and I have no earned income coming in from my job, well, guess what? We have that savings there to cover any expense that comes about. So that emergency fund is important. Make sure you build that before you start doing number 4, which is investing. And so everybody has a different idea when it comes to investing. I'll tell you exactly what I invest in, my wife and I invest in, and that is index funds. Why index funds? Because, well, I don't have to analyze each individual stock within an index fund. I can basically buy a simple S&P 500 low cost, low turnover index fund and just dollar cost average into that index fund. Every single time I get paid, my wife gets paid, we just buy shares of the S&P 500 index. Well, the S&P 500 has averaged roughly 10% per year compounded annually since its inception. And I do not buy single stocks, and the reason I don't do that is because it's very hard for me to feel comfortable investing in one company. Anything can happen to that stock. I've seen that during this recession we're in right now, where companies that you would never think would lose 50% of their stock price value, they've lost 50%. Like Facebook went down like 25% in a day. You know, I don't want to put all my money in one basket, in one company. Now, I'm not saying don't invest in single stocks, but if I were to invest in single stocks, it would really be like 10% of my entire investment portfolio. So 90% of your investments, I truly believe, and this is what I do, I have 100% of my money in an index, right? And I own the S&P 500 index, and I own the total US stock market index. That's what I own. And those are the only two funds that I buy in the stock market. And I dollar cost average into those every single week, every single month, no matter if the market's up, no matter if the market's down. I don't try to time anything. I just dollar cost average into that. And it has worked out very well over the last 3.5 years. And so it has done wonders. Now, there's other investments I do believe in investing in, and that would be to start a business. If you are in an industry that you're very knowledgeable about, using money to start up a business is great. Well, that would go back to what? Number one, which is your career. Well, eventually I am going to cash out some of that money that we have invested in the stock market and use that to fund a business venture, right? Because the best place to invest your money is in something that you have control over. I don't have control over where the stock market goes in like a year's time or whatever. It's very tough to time the market. I'm investing in America in the long haul by investing into the S&P 500, which are the top 500 publicly traded companies in the United States. They are. And like I said, since its inception, the S&P has averaged roughly 10% per year compounded annually. If you just bought into that, say you're in trucking and you're able to save and invest 30, 40, 50,000 a year, 60,000 a year, and I mean, you would get rich in no time. You would be financially free, like I've been talking about, in no time. You would become a millionaire in 10 years. This is how you can do it. This is what I'm doing to become a millionaire, to have financial freedom at an early age. And like I said, my time horizon is 35 years old. I want to be completely financially free so that I can have all the time in the world to spend time with my wife, my kid, and do things that I truly am passionate about, like this YouTube channel. And so that is what I'm doing. That is why I work all the time, nonstop, because I know that every single time I get paid, I'm investing money towards my future and my future freedom, right? Because ultimately, and I'll end with this basically. In order to be free in this country, you have to have a lot of money in order to be free. If you are reliant or dependent on a job to make money and survive, you are not rich. You are not wealthy. That is not wealth. Wealth is the ability to live off of the money that your assets produce. That is true wealth. That allows you to do whatever it is you want to do in life, right? You've got to have that financial freedom in order to truly be free in the United States and really anywhere in the world. You have to have that. Because if you're dependent on a job for income, guess what? That job is taking time away from your family, from your kid, from your friends. It's taking time away from the things you truly want to do. That is why you want to invest money and get that money to work for you, since you work so hard for it. And so these are the things that I invest in. Eventually, I'm going to invest not only into index funds in the stock market, I'm going to be investing into starting my own trucking business. I'm also going to be investing into real estate that produces income. And so those are the things that I'm interested in saving money up for, to invest in, to create that passive income so that I can have financial freedom like I've shared with you in this video. So again, I'll go through all of the steps. Number one, get a career where you can scale and basically earn as much money as you want to make. Get out of debt. That's number two. Build an emergency fund. Also invest. That's number four. However you want to invest. Some people don't want to touch the stock market. Well, you could save up money and buy your first property and start with that, and then save up some more money, buy a second property, and just keep rolling over and buying more and more. You could do that and focus on buying real estate and stay away from the stock market. Start your own business, whatever that may be. Learn to make money with your money. So that's number four. And that's pretty much it. Those are all the things that I think about on a daily basis. So if I make money from YouTube, guess what? I put all this money into the stock market. If I make money from my job in trucking, it all goes into the stock market. I invest all of it. We invest 50% of every dollar that we make. So if we make $100,000 a year, 50,000 of that is going into our investments, and we're just going to keep doing that until we have financial freedom. And so yeah, and I'm sharing with you in this video literally everything that I've been doing for the last 3.5 years, and like I've said, it has done wonders for myself and my family, and I truly believe that these simple things that I just shared with you, you could have the same success as me. I'm not special. I'm just a regular guy making videos and sharing with you my journey through life and my journey through trucking and really everything. So anyway, if you stay tuned till the end of this video, I really appreciate it. I would appreciate it, like, again, if you would like the video, subscribe to the channel, check out my Instagram, and also check out the other videos that are going to be popping up here in a second. God bless. Thank you for watching. Peace out.